So, not a real good resolution to hear, but do you feel like this was the best result given the facts of the case?
Yes, I mean, I think none of these cases are black and white. There's always a lot more going on than what appears on the surface, and so I think this is the best outcome for everyone involved.
Okay. And then can you give us just a short summary of how the plea deal and sentencing was negotiated?
Well, that was a very long process. This case is about 2.5 years old, and so there was a long process of talking to the victim's family, negotiating with. He ultimately had 2 different attorneys that we were negotiating with, and then he had some psychological evaluations and things like that that took place over a long period. So it was just a long process, and pretty thorough process.
Okay. And then what do you make out of the online kind of outrage that seemed to have happened since Monday even?
Right. Well, it surprised me. I guess I didn't realize there was no media even at the court hearing, so I guess I didn't realize there was that much interest. But I think the problem is that a lot of people take it as a very black and white view, and they make certain assumptions about what happened and how the case was handled without really knowing the information and the facts behind that. And so people are upset over something that they maybe really shouldn't be if they actually understood more about the case.
And do you think part of that is because not all of the information got out there, as maybe bits and pieces, if any of that?
Right. I mean, I guess certainly if I would have realized that there was that much concern out there, then I would have released more information up front so that people would have understood that up front. But with most of these cases, a lot of the decisions rely on information that's confidential, that can't be released to the public anyway. But certainly a lot of the negotiations and the facts that go into that, the public isn't generally aware of unless they actually attend court and hear all that. So, yeah, it's difficult for people to have the kind of information they probably should have otherwise.
And there was definitely some misunderstanding by the public about how the judicial system works, including the fact that most cases have multiple judges during the process. What are a couple things you hope people learn about the judicial system as a result of this whole situation?
Right. Well, I think one thing that people should understand is that we take these cases very seriously. The judges take the cases very seriously. There are a lot of people involved in this process, and everyone is looking out for the interests of the people who are involved as well as the interests of the public. And we make decisions very deliberately and very carefully. We don't make knee-jerk reactions and just say, like the comments I get on my voicemail, you should never make plea agreements with child molesters. Well, people who understand how the process actually works understand that plea agreements are a necessary part of the process, and usually to protect victims and to further their interests. And so I just think people should understand that it's not black and white. There's a lot of detail in there, and we do make every effort to bring these cases to a good resolution as best we can.